Hey, I have started the recording mic भी on चुका है. This time the mic is on और इस बार हम कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं हमारे बुक द 5 AM क्लब. कैमरा थोड़ा टेढ़ा हो चुका है बट इतना फ़र्क नहीं पड़ेगा, इतना फ़र्क पड़ना नहीं चाहिए. तो हमने इसके अंदर 16 चैप्टर पढ़ लिए हैं. 14 15 तो हमने ऑन कैमरा पढ़ लिए और जब हम 15th वाला चैप्टर पढ़ेंगे द फैम क्लब एम्ब्रेसेस द ट्विन साइकिल्स ऑफ एलीट परफॉर्मर्स. अभी 10:59 हो चुके हैं. मेरे को अप्रॉक्स 10:30 को स्टार्ट करना था बट ये जो आपको टाइमर यहाँ पे दिख रहा है, ये टाइमर सेट करने को मेरे को देर लग गई बहुत ज़्यादा. फिर ये टाइमर सेट करेंगे अपन एक्चुअली में और आज जस्ट एक ही घंटा पढ़ेंगे. वी विल ट्राई टू फिनिश चैप्टर नंबर 16 जो है द फाइन क्लब एम्ब्रेसेस द साइकिल ऑफ द एलीट परफॉर्मर्स, जो है 265 पेज पे. ऑलमोस्ट 25 पेजेस टू गो. चलो लेट्स स्टार्ट द टाइमर. 5 6 7. यस सर, टाइमर स्टार्टेड. एक घंटा पढ़ेंगे देन राइट. चलो चैप्टर 16. थोड़ा टिल्टेड है लिटिल. नहीं, छोड़ो, जैसा है वैसा ही रहने देते हैं. बट हमने थोड़ा सा टिल्ट कर लिया, नो प्रॉब्लम. द फाइम क्लब एम्ब्रेसेस. अभी थोड़ी इतनी एनर्जी कम कम सी आ रही है बिकॉज सेट करने में थोड़ा टाइम चला गया और अभी अपन लेट बहुत पड़ रहा है. अभी ऑलमोस्ट 11 बज चुके हैं. टुडेज डेट इज 20 जुलाई 2025. द फाइम क्लब. द फाइन क्लब एम्ब्रेसेस द ट्विन साइकिल ऑफ elite performers. ऑडियो रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है. विद फ्रीडम, बुक्स, फ्लावर्स एंड द मून who could not be happy. स्वातंत्र्याने, पुस्तके, फुले आणि द चंद्र, कोण खुश राहणार नाही. ऑस्कर वाइल्ड. ओके, वी नीड फ्रीडम ऐसा कुछ है क्या. एम्ब्रेसेस द ट्विन साइकिल ऑफ elite परफॉर्मर्स. ओके, ऑस्कर वाइल्ड का दिख रहा है या कोट ब्लरी दिख रहा है. नेक्स्ट टाइम वी विल ट्राई टू एडवांस द कैमरा. इस बार ऑडियो तो है. ओके. The billionaire was seated alone on the spacious terrace of the private cottage he had rented on the wine estate in Francois, South Africa. As he writes his daily diaries, Mr. Riley reflected on the marvelous happiness, uncommon exuberance, and striking beauty that was present at the wedding of the entrepreneur and the artist in Sao Paulo. They, they were clearly meant for each other. The universe works in interesting and absolute intelligent ways. He thought, he thought, and if there was a union that would go the distance, it would be this one. As this magnate made notes in his journal, where birds sang and their carefree songs, and gardeners in the blue work uniforms dug into the soil of the vineyard with shiny shovels while speaking energetically with thick South African accent. The tangled yet lovingly arranged vines on wooden stakes spoke of an enchantment that nature alone affords, while a mystical whip of fog slowly migrated from Francois Valley up towards the surrounding mountains. आज का सेटअप थोड़ा डिसेंट सही लग रहा है. ओके, डायग्राम. A little earlier, at 5 am, the billionaire had taken the entrepreneur and the artist on a mountain bike ride that began on the wine farm, then meandered down Daniel Hugo Street and into the village. Past well-used horse stables, lazy dogs that moved as slow as snails on the Prozac, and rose bushes that had twisted along the white picket fences that had been erected along with both sides of rough dirt road. It really was near perfect little place the billionaire had selected as the setting for his second to last mentoring session. The, the lesson that the billionaire had presented as the three of them rode together centered on the vital importance of balancing elite personal performance with deep self-renewal for sustained masterful achievement. The Titan explained the value of alternating time in the world pursuing success at the highest level with the time the wilderness recovering. A cemetery needed to ensure a strong harmony between winning at human and riches in life, and to guarantee that his students played the long game around their assets of genius. The billionaire also explained that the massive productivity in society without an abundant heart, an authentic sense of joyfulness, and enduring inner peace was no different from the game of a hamster play on a running wheel. It thinks it's moving, yet it remains engaged. अपन इसी क्वालिटी को अगर अपस्केल कर ले, अच्छा अच्छा कैमरा करे, अच्छी थोड़ी लाइटिंग कर ले, वी डोंट नीड अ टाइमर, वी डोंट नीड दिस वाला मार्क, एंड दिस कुड बी अ परफेक्ट ऑडियो बुक वाला चैनल, राइट? इफ पीपल कान में डाल के सुन लेंगे, और जिसको देखना है व्हाट आई एम व्हाट टू रीडिंग, कॉपीराइट ना आए, तो दैट वुड बी अ ग्रेट आइडिया, राइट? देखते हुए अगर कॉलेज में फ्री टाइम मिले तो विल डू दिस. As the early morning rays melted into the lush greenery, the Morgul pleaded in his shiny red bicycle, talked excitedly and laughed festive. Optimistic, truthful laughs, the kind of laughs we all long to experience more of us in our lives. He also continued to cough a lot. One time he even spat up some blood. Yet, because the billionaire seemed vibrant and unusually healthy, the entrepreneur and the artist remained only somewhat concerned for his generous mentor's well-being. Perhaps this was their mistake, but the Newlands were so the moment that they didn't spend so much time trying to figure out what was going on. In retrospect, they would wish they had. अभी बहुत सारा इन्होंने मज़ा डाल दिया है, जो कि वो स्टोन रिले है. स्टोन रिले इज नाउ गेटिंग सिकर एंड सिकर. ये तो इग्नोर किए जा रहे. एक बार इन्होंने पूछा आर्टिस्ट और एंटरप्रेन्योर ने कि भाई क्या कर रहे हो, मतलब ऐसे कफ क्यों कर रहे हो आप, ठीक? तो वो बोला ठीक है, एक दो बार इग्नोर भी कर दिया. एंड नाउ मे बी ही इज गोइंग टू डाई, मे बी इज गोइंग टू हैव कैंसर. शायद स्टोन रिले वुड नॉट बी आगे तक कंटिन्यू करेगा, क्योंकि लास्ट के दो चैप्टर एंड इट माइट टीच अस दैट समथिंग डोंट लास्ट फॉर एवर एंड दे एंड. And by the way, this was my phone in ninth, not in ninth, 11वीं 12वीं में मैं यही फ़ोन यूज़ करता था. अभी ट्वेल्थ के एंडिंग में मेरे को मामा की तरफ से यूज़ करने के लिए iPhone 7 मिल गया था. मतलब ये तो मेरे मम्मी का है, ये मेरे मम्मी के साइड के ग्रैंड मदर का है. और ये फ़ोन, ये वाला फ़ोन लावून घ्या पप्पा. असं काय घेताय का? ठेवलं मी सगळं मम्मीकडे. ये भी फ़ोन मेरे पापा के बहन का है, मेरे अत्या का फ़ोन है, एंड ये मेरे ग्रैंड मदर का ही फ़ोन है. मतलब अभी एज ऑफ नाउ मेरे पास प्रॉपर कोई फ़ोन नहीं है खुद का. अभी चल रहा है 20 जुलाई. आई शुड नॉट डू टाइम पास टॉक, राइट? मेरे को पढ़ना है 1 घंटा. व्हाट आई वाज सेइंग कि अपन एंड ऑफ अगस्त या सितंबर की स्टार्टिंग में फ़ोन लेने की भरपूर कोशिश करेंगे. नाउ लेट्स गेट बैक टू द 5 AM क्लब. द 5 AM क्लब. When the three companies took a break from riding, Stone really presented the husband and the wife with another learning model, which he pulled out of a blue backpack. It looked like this: the twin cycles of elite performers. The twin cycles of elite performers. ऐसे कुछ बता रहा है क्या? We need someone to reflect upon. मतलब टोकने को वगैरह. Production of the 5 assets of genius: mental focus, physical energy, personal energy, original talent, daily time. Protection of the 5 assets of genius: mental focus, physical energy, personal willpower, original talent, daily time. Heck, the high excellence cycle. Heck, the deep refueling cycle. DRC. Deep refueling cycle. The high excellence cycle. The billionaire taught that exceedingly excellent product excellent creative production without calibrated human asset production leads to a noticeable performance reduction. What he meant by this was this. What he meant by that was this: becoming becoming legendary in your industry is all about sustainability. and making sure you show up at the world class, not just for a month or not for an entire year. The real sport of the captains of commerce, the great masters of the arts, the visionary of the sciences, the heroes of the humanities, and the giants of athletics. Is preserving your a game over a lifetime. Longevity really is the key to legendary. He reinforced this. He told his two appreciative students is one of the main key to keep your rise to iconic. You really must learn how to balance working intensely and brilliant with deep work and recovery so you can remain fresh and strong for a long career. And you do this, you won't go out of your gifts by hyperextending them in the same way that some pro athletes blow out their knees, preventing them from even playing. The geniuses all know and apply this remarkably important principle. और वर्क नहीं करना है मैं विद दिस चैप्टर अबाउट दैट एंड आई नीड टू चेंज दिस इसका कवर ये बहुत अनसिमेट्रिक वाइब्स दे रहा है ये प्लेन बैकग्राउंड होता तो इट वुड हैव लुक इवन बेटर नेक्स्ट टाइम वी विल ट्राई दैट इसको ऐसे अभी कर सकते हैं why not just improve the quality just here and right now. Haha, much better, look more symmetric, right? It should. Much better. Yes. Improving 1% DD. No, 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 shouldn't do that. The geniuses all apply this remarkably important principle. As the billionaire swiped out, sipped, swept sweet, dark coffee, he explained that what makes the great man and woman of the world exceptional is their implementation of a phenomena known as supercompensation. Just as a muscle tears down when you stress it to the edge of its capacity, and then actually grows during the pause of the recovery, your five assets of genius surge when you actively push them past their unusual limits and then allow for a period of recovery regeneration. Mr. Stone really pointed to the framework on the paper and said, see cats, the little known key to terrific success over a long term lies in a simple word oscillation. I mentioned in the Sao Paulo, but you are both ready to go deeper. We definitely are, declared the entrepreneur. Hear this, the billionaire said. The scientists studied the great Russian weightlifter. They discovered that the secret behind their undefeatability was their work rest ratios. Oh, there is also a term called work rest ratios. What does that mean? Asked the artist to the companions who walked their mountain bikes along a trail at the edge of a fabulous vineyard. एक साथ बाइक चला रहे थे क्या वो? Your growth happens when you are resting, replied the billionaire. The straightforward way. Makes no logical sense, right? The billionaire went on. In fact, the productivity rule is one of the most central yet paradoxical truths. The spellbinder revealed to me as I was building my global empire. The mainstream thinking tells us that to get more done, we must put in more hours. To achieve more, we must do more. But solid research now confirms that the kind of linear approach, work harder to produce better, is seriously flawed. It isn't sustainable, it just leads to burnout. बर्नआउट अपने को बहुत सारा हुआ था वाइल द प्रिपरेशन ऑफ जेई बट उसके अंदर इतना बेहतर रिजल्ट नहीं आया बट वी आर गोइंग विद डिसेंट स्कोर विद सीईटी एंड लेट्स सी क्या कॉलेज मिलता है एंड आर स्टेट रैंक फॉर सीईटी स्टेट मेरिट रैंक फॉर सीईटी इज 34,142 something. To achieve more, we need to do more. Rice says your body is unsustainable. It leads to burnout, exhaustion, loss of inspiration, and the reduction of your private fire to lead to the field and enhance our world. That old school way of operating also causes a visceral depletion of the very human resources which, if applied intelligently, will make you the master of your marketplace. What you are sharing, what you are sharing reminds me of the 60-10 method. What you are sharing reminds me of the 60th method, remarked the artist happily. He was dressed in the riding gear the billionaire had had provided. And given his daily practice of the 2020 formula as a member of a good standing of the 5M club, he looked significantly fitter, more focused, and more energetic, and more self-confident when he showed up at the Spellbinder conference. मला पाहिजे आता थोड्या वेळाने घे थोड्याने घे काय करतोय 15 झाले 45 मिनिटांनी घे एक तास रिटर्न करून ठेवून मला आता पाहिजे तू नंतर घे ना 15 मिनिटं घे थोड्या वेळाने घे ना नंतर तू 1-2 वाजेपर्यंत लागत असते ना हटकाट the 2020 Formula Spellbinder conference's transformation was quite marvelous. Super point, applauded the billionaire. And you're right, yet the learning model I am about to walk you through is so much more than that. Today you will receive advanced insight on how to alternate work the spirit to generate exponential productivity. You'll also learn how to have a blast while you are doing it. This morning you'll discover how they work less yet materialize more through what pro athletes call periodization. After we are done, you both will be both will well beyond any superficial understanding of what makes it so triumph in your spare while living beautifully for the rest of your life. The billionaire pointed to the part of learning the billionaire pointed to the part of the learning framework entitled The Five Sets of the Geniuses. As you have now learned, every morning you wake up with a full battery of creative power. Each dawn you awaken a full well of 5 private treasures that, if properly managed, will cause you to overcome the violence of your excuses and wide the knife blade of your past limits, so that the great hero encoded within your soul meets the light of the day and enable you to become all you are meant to be as the maker of your spectacular work, as a leader without a title, and as a human being dedicated to living in awe of life's most gorgeous graces. I am all in, exclaimed the artist. And as you now know, the 5 assets of a genius, continued Mr. Relay as he looked at the diagram. You mental focus, your physical energy, your personal willpower, your original talent, and your daily time. I repeat this so you remember this. These primary assets are at their highest early in the these primary assets are at their highest early in the morning. That's why you want to start your day well and perform your most important pursuit during the most valuable hours instead of wasting this precious opportunity of fooling around with your technology, watching the news, or oversleeping. I did oversleep today and I shouldn't have did that, but you confirmed the entrepreneur, ferociously taking notes in the leather journal she received in room. Colorful scarf with elegant patterns on it gave her ponytail dramatic look that this practical particular morning and the essential point of today's lesson on this the billionaire spoke as he pointed to the center of the model. The top, top performers top performers truly isn't a linear game. Elite accomplishment is much more like a heartbeat, more like a rhythm, more like a pulse. If you want to show up as a great master over decades, so you literally dominate your domain for an entire career and lead a life uh, well into old age. You absolutely need to alternate high excellence cycles, those periods of intense and fantastic output with times of meaning recovery, deep refueling cycles. Please study this, the billionaire requested, tapping an index finger on the printed framework. Just so I'm clear, said the artist as he inhaled the fresh air. HECR high excellence cycle and DRC deep cycle. Yes, replied the billionaire. Today is his black T-shirt and white lettering on it that read, "Yes, I am in a relationship with myself." His weirdness was magnificent. And so your main move, if you want enduring victory, professionally as well as personally, is to oscillate tycoon to oscillate, the tycoon carried on, whose cycle periods of passionate, monomically focused, and potent work at the highest grade with blocks of time set for refueling, relaxing, recovering, and pure fun. It literally is like your heartbeat pulsing. I so love this concept you are so kindly teaching us, noted the entrepreneur. This will be another needle mover for my business life and for my private world. Yes, it will be. Yes, it will be, agreed the billionaires. Sufficient growth does happen in the resting place phase. That's counterintuitive, right? We have been programmed to think that if we are not creating and producing, we are wasting our time. We feel guilty if we are not doing. But look at this. The Baron unzipped a nylon carrying case that had been fastened around his waist. He pulled out two medals that appeared to be made of wood and placed them around the necks of the entrepreneur and the artist, as one would do in celebration of a champion. On each medal, those words were the legendary performance equation: pressure into refueling equals growth plus endurance. Pressure into refueling equals growth plus endurance. Tennis, tennis great Jean King said that the pressure is a privilege. The billionaire reminded his two students, see, pressure and stress aren't bad. They are not. Questioned the billionaire. No, they are absolutely necessary for the expansion of the capacity. Voice the billionaire. You must push your talents hard. The billionaire continued to your past your comfort zone. Only then will they grow. Always remember this. The time you least feel like doing something is the best time to do it. बहुत सारे यूट्यूबर्स इंस्टाग्राम वगैरह वगैरह भी कहता है द टाइम यू least feel like doing something is the best time to do it. Who says it mostly? Hamza. Hamza. Hamza is the one who says it. And part of the reason for this, as you also know, is because when you enlarge your willpower muscle in one important area, your self-discipline in every another area rises with you. The larger point I am trying to make here is that pressure and stress are wonderful blessings that A players exploit. Our grips don't increase when we stay in our safety circles. No, challenge and stretch your capacities past the normal. Muscle expand only when we take them past our unusual limits and then allow for some time to refuel and recover. The billionaire survived the vineyard. Then he added, I recall having a fantastic conversation with a pro athlete who showed up at one of my charity dinners. You know what he told me? What wondered the artist? I rushed to allow my training to take effect, pronounced the billionaire. Profound way of seeing things. I rushed to allow my training to take effect, pronounced the billionaire. Profound way of seeing things. All works and no break depletes your greatness over time. Murmured the entrepreneur, rolling her mountain bike over stake and leaning the seat against it. If you want to build stronger abdominal muscles, you stress them past their current boundary, said the billionaire. If you usually do 100 sit-ups, you do 200. If 200 is your daily quota, you go up you go up to 300. This actually causes muscle to rip apart. The exercise physiologists call this phenomena micro tearing. Yet if you want जोर से खांसी अचानक 23 minutes in. ग्रीन बुक मैंने ऐसे ही नाम डाल था आई वाजंट मैंने सोचा भी नहीं था कि मैं ग्रीन बुक पे बुक पढ़ूंगा. इट्स जस्ट द सेकंड वीडियो अबाउट बुक्स. फर्स्ट वीडियो तो पूरा काम का है ही नहीं. उसके अंदर 1 hour 38 minutes तो मैं माइक ऑन करने भूल गया था. इसके अंदर जस्ट 1 hour का अपन कंटेंट रखेंगे इस बार. लेट्स सी 1 hour मे बी 1 hour 10 1 hour 15. लेट्स सी feel happiness please. If you want to muscles grow, you can't keep exercising it relentlessly, or you will experience injury. You need to rest the muscles for a day or two. And it's in that recovery cycle where the actual growth happens. Interjected artist locking in on the principle he was learning. Absolutely correct. Enthusiast the billionaire. Growth happens in a resting phase, not in the performing stage. Early on recall early on in our work together on my beach in Mauritius. I told you cats I grew up on a farm long before I moved to Malibu. Think so, spoke the billionaire. Mauritius feel like another lifetime ago. Well, there's a metaphor that I learned from well, there's a metaphor that I learned from our farm that will help you fully understand the twin cycles of elite performance. Twin cycles mean एक cycle में you perform and the another cycle में you rest, bro. And talk to any farmer and she'll tell you about the fallow season. Before it, there's an intense period when the soil gets tilled, crops get planted, and the serious work gets done. Then there's the season of resting. Seems like nothing's happening. Looks like time is wasting. Yet here's the neat part. It's in the fallow season that the harvest is really blossoming. All the produce that's showing during the autumn is just the visible end result. The billionaire served some more coffee. He spilled a little on his t-shirt, the container that held the Java and the big dreams. The container that held the Java had "Dream big, start small, begin now" written on it. A yellow butterfly with tender flappings, a yellow butterfly with tender flapping wings that had blood red wings all along them glided by. Three eagles announced their authority overhead. God, I love butterflies, the billionaire said wistfully, and the rainbow shooting stars, full moons and glorious sunsets. Why be alive if you are not going to be totally alive? Why be alive if we are not going to be totally alive? Nice, 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 nice. ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो जाएंगे. I have to put a lot of effort. तो कर ही सकते हैं ना. I was like a robot when I was in my 20s, he admitted. I took myself too seriously, didn't have a minute to waste. Every hour was scheduled, every car ride had to be have an audiobook running, all flight time was about productivity. Here's the thing. His voice trailed off as his eyes appeared lonely, melancholic, and lost. I was exhausted a lot of time. The spellbinder saved my life. He really did, and the model I am walking you through this morning helped immensely. The billionaire took a deep breath and then went on. My assets of genius became over time. Eroded over time. My creativity was floundering as weighing my effectiveness. I have since realized that I am paid by the group of companies to think, come up with the visions and ideas of new products and innovations that will shatter the compass and deliver humongous value to all our clients around the world. But I don't understand that back then. Spellbind resisted me enormously, taught me the twin cycles of elite performers during our very first coaching session, and, insisted relentlessly that I implemented them instantly and consistently. But boy, did I fight them on this one. I was just so against my nature to relax and breathe and to pause. Now totally get that rest is very thing that enables our primal greatness to unfold. Oh, one more picture. The entrepreneur nodded her head in understanding. If I am not working, I feel super guilty. अभी के लिए I am not like I am not doing something wrong. Like I am doing something wrong. Self-care is the essential to self-love. Remarked the billionaire. All I am saying is now I understand that balance is vastly important. World-class performance, working day and night, it didn't make me more efficient at all. It just became, it just made me more tired and cranky. So now I make The times to rest, to nourish myself, to mountain bike, to read books I have always wanted to read, to enjoy a glass of excellent wine like the glass of amazing Trentonage I savored last night in the front of the blazing fire in my cottage here in the valley. Ironically, as I have practiced this kind of recovery, my creativity has multiplied, my productivity has soared, and my results have skyrocketed. I am just so profound. I work less, have more fun, and yet I get way more done. Mr. Relay then reached into his blue backpack and pulled out a piece of white material which looked like it came from the sail of a schooner. Remarkably, you see a drawing of Albert Einstein in a sailboat. Okay, he's Albert Einstein in a sailboat. If you were there in that previous vineyard with them, you would have seen this. कैमरा की लेटेंसी आई लव इट ज़्यादा लेट नहीं है इट्स डिसेंट सा लेट फोकस में तो है ना ब्रो आप oh the, the industrialist continued his discourse out in that delightful vineyard. Oh yes, cool cats. Having fun is so very essential to leading your field, upgrading your life, and inspiring the world. All the amazing creatives and productive icons of history had one thing in common, Tell us, please, requested the entrepreneur as the bangles made a clink clink sound. Her new added wedding rings shimmered in the morning sunlight. The billionaire flipped into a quick handstand and then camera shake नहीं हो रहा ना? Handstand. He then bent his chest fast with a single fish as he whispered these words to himself. This day is priceless, all the money in the world will not bring it back again, and so I seize it and I savor it and I honor it. This day I fulfill my mind with big dreams, so there is no space for petty doubts. I replace the psychology of can't with the mentality of can, and I remember that my greatest growth lies at the jagged edges of my highest limits. This day I will recall that until my mission becomes my obsession, my gift will never become my glory. And until my hunger is to serve transcends the insecurities of myself, I will miss the grand chance of these precious hours to be a vehicle of for for helpfulness. Each day, this, this day, I reload my devotion to avoid a counterfeit, counterfeit nobility. Staying sincere, humble, with both feet on the ground, sacred ground. Should naysayers and bad actors throw rocks at me, I reply with my kindness and love in the face of their bad behavior. Even if they don't deserve it, it deserve it. It should critics make fun of me, as they always have since I was a kid. I will take the rocks they throw at me and make them into monuments of mastery. And should anyone call me strange, as often do, I'll smile with the blatant wisdom stuck deep in my heart that it's only misfits, oddballs, and eccentrics that change our world. Being different is really cool, and eccentricity is very hip. 30 minutes and almost 10 pages. 20 pages to go, and आधा घंटा बाकी है. Very slow. It was a quite sensational scene. Stone relay upside down, beating his chest uh, to act as to activate his heart and reciting his poetry. Words are creative, he articulated as he stood up and inhaled a big gulp of fresh French choke air. Spake the words of unchained heroism, talked, talked the preach of passionate possibility and use the language of hope, the sentencing of power, and the phrasing of leadership and unbridled love. I manage my words meticulously every morning. The billionaire looked at the vines. Anyhow, he added, all great geniuses really love to play. They understood that having fun is a potent form of recovery. They all had leisure activities that recharged their empty batteries. Einstein loved to sail. Aristotle and Charles Dickens adored daily walks. Hollywood superstar Meryl Streep used to knit. Okay, she used to knit. Charles Dickens loved to walk. Einstein loved to sail. Okay, Steve von Wozniak played polo. Bill Gates mastered bridge. Sergey Brin would often be up on a high flying trapeze. Time away from work isn't a waste, the tycoon reinforced. It's a must. Okay, calm the Durjana. It isn't a waste, it's worth. It's must, he said. Offers a space of incubation of the very ideas that will make you a fortune. So work less to get more done. That's pretty much what the twin cycles of lead performance model is all about. I'm understanding the 60-10 method well even more. The artist contributed. I guess this also means it's okay to have a few days off every week. Few days off every week. हफ्ते में 2 दिन छुट्टी लेके how will you manage it, भाई? How can you take हफ्ते में 2 days off? That will just suck up your routine. Maybe intensity of work is doing on the work days are higher, so he can take a few days off. That's what they are saying. I think no technology, zero device days. Okay, is what the spellbinder calls them. No technology, zero device days is what the spellbinder calls them. Calls it full recovery and every quarter take off even more time for decades. I've taken July, I've taken June, July and August to vacation. I sail, bike, sleep, read, swim, chill with my friend, have the happiest times of with my daughter and experience life at its best. You cats may not be able to make this much time of but I need to tell you that during these renewal cycles I do my best thinking and planning and get my best insights. I always return to the office 1,000 times more inspired on fire and alive. Another butterfly floated by. The vineyard seemed to whisper of wonderful miracles to come. Though, though the sun now stood in its fullest radiant glory, a thin sip of moon competed for attention in the big African sky. The big African sky. It was breathing. The entrepreneur grasped his husband's her husband's hand. This is magical, she said. You know, guys, Mr. Wheeler said as he picked up his bike and started walking along the secret back road that he had somehow discovered. Heaven on earth isn't some mystical, spiritual place to aspire to. It's not some realm reserved only for saints, seers, and sages. Not at all. I have discovered, and boy, now I led a colorful, intense life of all these years. That heavens on earth is a state that anyone can create. The billionaire was now deepening the conversation significantly and growing more philosophical around this particular lesson on work life boundaries for sustained legendary performance. Had a happier existence because business victory without a joyful heart misses the opportunity. Okay, you gotta work hard and you gotta take rest even harder. I look extra black here on this webcam angle. I need to remove all this tan on my face to look less black. It's only about 40 minutes, 20 minutes to go. We will close it when we hit 1 hour. Let's go. I feel really blessed in my life. Stone really stated. I live most in the magic. The magic wondered the artist, now pulling on two dreadlocks and unlacing his biking shoes. The magic, confirmed the millionaire, looking serene yet confident, relaxed yet thoughtful, playing yet spiritual. I have learned that being successful without feeling soulful is the highest of defeats. The entrepreneur and the artist sat down next to each other on the soul of vineyard. The billionaire kept on. While I have always been passionate about advancing my companies and expanding my commercial interests, mostly to see how far I can go and to help fuel my philanthropic work. I am equally dedicated to savoring I'm equally dedicated to savoring the magic of life astoundingly well lived. Winning without enjoying is nothing. Winning without enjoying is nothing. Tasty quote. I like it. He said, winning without. Maybe I can just do it right for a specific. Okay. It won't zoom, so I'll just stay like this. Sorry. Not so sure. I get you admitted the entrepreneur, the truck carrying a gaggle of workers with charismatic smiles sailed by. It's a great morning, one shouted. I love my work so much and I do get a lot of pleasure from the home, the goods and the toys I own. But I need one of them. Hey, we are a little bit down now. Let's go more down now. बहुत डाउन आ गया क्या थोड़ा से up. Okay. Okay, now perfect. Was still pleasure to very much work. But I don't require them for any happiness and peacefulness. I've come to see it as a big game, a sport of sorts. I own my things, but they don't owe me, the Baron continued. And though I play in the world, I also adore the wilderness, not only metaphorically but literally. Like here, experiencing the nature wonders of this ethereal valley in Francho. This too is how I live the twin cycles model. I make time to enjoy life completely. The magic repeated the billionaire as singing birds seemed to sound louder and a flutter of even more butterflies showed up to listen on the conversation. God, life is so beautiful. Don't miss out on all that's awesomeness and incredibleness. If more 20 pages to go, was my calculation wrong? We had 35 pages to read and we are like almost 10 हो गए अपन 10 15 pages करेंगे अपन. Maybe we will have to read for 1.5 hours. Shit. One time, water time, and life does whiz by quickly. This magic repeated the billionaire as birds see good life, isn't it? Don't miss out on all its awesomeness and incredibleness. There is out for you, no matter what you might be doing. See the road. See, we all lived one borrowed time, and life does whiz by so quickly. You two cats will be old before you know it. It's probably hanging out the 100 grandchildren, he said with a chuckle. And you, Mr. Deal, spoke in a whisper. Utopia, Shangri-La, Nirvana, and heaven on earth are just names of a state being not replaced state, being visiting state of being not a place of visiting. You enter the magic of life and begin to experience outright bliss daily once you reclaim the inherent power that lurks in your soul. And when you don't postpone being exposed for evil, the tiniest of everyday graces, you'll become a magnet of miracles when you begin a magician of sorts. The villain are getting into some pretty mystical and far out territory, thought the entrepreneur. Heaven on earth, recited the industrialist. My life is generally a steady stream of beauty, And I observed this has little to do with having a lot of money. It has more to do with finding fulfillment in the smallest things that way the fire warmed me and inspired me last year. For example, it has to do with spending a lot of time in nature, whether that's in vineyards like this he said, pointing an index finger across the wine farms that fill the valley, or on walks in the forest, or hiking in the mountain, or being near the sea, drifting through the sands of a barren desert. It has to do with reconnecting to the wonder and majesty that every human life has available to by visiting art galleries frequently and letting the energy and genius of the creators infuse your mindsets, heart set, health set, and soul sets. It has to do with eating fresh, simply prepared with interesting, real, thoughtful, creative, and compassionate people who make you feel good. Stepping into the magic also has a lot to do with saying goodbye to your past, embracing the present, and making a turn to the imaginatives, innocence, exuberance, and lovingness. You were intimate when you were a child. Adults are curated children. Heaven on earth shows up naturally in your heart when you have the billionaire and bravery, when you have the brilliance and bravery to start opening it up again like you did when you were little. Picasso once said, "It took me 4 hours to make paint like Raphael, but a lifetime to paint like a child." It took me 4 years to paint like a Raphael, but a lifetime to paint like a child. Contribute to the artist energetically. I'd agree that getting back, being more innocent brings the magic back to our lives. The pioneer stopped. He rested his bike and waved for his two students to follow him to an area of the vineyard that had a black metal sign marked as Shein Black in the bright yellow letters. Stone relayed and his knees. Fell on his knees, beta. Joy as a GPS. Diagram. The entrepreneur and the artist watched him draw a learning model. Okay, फैल नहीं हुआ. वो खुद गया. He sat away. Sat ही बोल सकते हैं. He just sat there like, yes! Okay, maximum audio वाला reached. Plus 60, yes. -60 से तो 0 decibel तक है ना. I spoke to 0.0 decibel. That was the max limit of my PC. The entrepreneur and the artist watched him draw a learning model in the mineral-rich soil of the terrier. It looked exactly like this. Joy as a GPS. Personal fuel, pursuit fuel, place fuel. Your personal GPS. Joy as a GPS. People fuel, place pursuit fuel. The magic. The billionaire mused, still whispering, as he stood up straight as a soldier. His eyes were closed now. His thick hair fluttered slightly in the mild wind as he placed one hand to his heart. More doves materialized. I'm really in Jesus these days. You'd only appreciate them if you didn't have them. And like I'm saying, there's such an enchantment to life if there's in front of you available to anyone. You all can become magicians. It was magicians. I read it as magnificent magicians of sort, but to experience the reality. And speaking of, to really find it, you will need to leave the world a lot, plain common society, and succeed in the game. It sells you to it sells you, but disconnect from it. Even so, you are really owned by it because the play, because the sport the majority is playing is only an illusion, some sort of waking dream that too many good people are donating the best mornings of their finest life days as they as they put money over meaning, profits over people, popularity over integrity, being busy over family and achievement were loving of the basic miracles of the now. The billionaire eyes remained closed. Next he lifted both hands toward the heavens as he like to do. You enter the magic by using your joy as a GPS, disclosed the billionaire, speaking directly into the diagram. He had drawn in the dirt. To the ever increasing amount of happiness, trust what makes you feel happy. Your heart knows where you need to be. It's so much wiser than your head. Instinct knows so much more than intellect, and intuition is smarter than reason. That's for sure. Our intelligence is made up of what those around us have taught us. It's limited, it's confined, but by logic. And what's been done for you, your sovereign self knows better. It operates in possibly not in possibility, not practicality. It's visionary, it's unlimited. Not sure I understand, said the entrepreneur. Follow your joy, instructed the relay. Only be around those people who fuel your joy. Only perform those pursuits that feed your bliss. Only be in the places that make you feel most alive. Look, I know it's hard to live this model perfectly, so please see this framework as an idea to move forward. And like everything else I've taught you, it's a process, not an event. I- It'll take time, but with it begins with being aware of this model and then allowing your joy your GPS. Billionaire started walking with his mountain bike and motioned gently motioned for his two students to follow. Oh, the magic that lives in at the essence of life. Love it so much. Fills me with more serenity and tranquility than any material object ever has. And this is the importance of balancing being successful with being soulful. The billionaire clenched his arms tightly and looked as if he were dealing with severe pain yet again. The billionaire, 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 billionaire clenched his arms tightly. भाई, वो थोड़ा ज्यादा ही कर रहे हैं अपन. As if you're dealing with severe pain yet again. Your heart is always wiser than your head. He repeated softly. Your heart is always wiser than your head. It knows where you must be. Follow it. Trust it. You will find the magic. The villain gave a signal, and instantly from behind a scarecrow, an assistant dashed across the vineyard to his employer. A silver spade was handed to the billionaire, and a quick hug was exchanged. The magnate began to dig with gusto. Soon a clack could be heard as the metal struck metal. Mr. Relay knelt to the ground and began wiping the soul from a steel box that had been embedded in the earth. As he did, he started yolting, much as folk singers in Switzerland and Austria do. It was something else to which the industrialist as young, and to hear him sing, the entrepreneur and the artist were mesmerized. The box was then opened with colossal care. Inside were 11 magical charms, each attached to a letter. In that moment, sunshine radiating over the billionaire created the effect of another shimmering hollow. I am part of all this, is mumbled the billionaire to himself. The great power of the universe is with all I desire, with active faith, positivity, expectancy, and purposeful conviction is on its way to me. And if that which I wish for does not and I wish for does not come, it's simply because something that even better is on its way. I know this, I know this Eve to be true. All wizards know it to be true. The entrepreneur, and the artist stared at each other, eyes wide open. What are you doing? Quest the artist. The entrepreneur and the artist asked to each other eyes wide open, what are you doing? Quiz the artist. I'm using one of my condition responsibility. He added yodeling, yodeling the end of a sentence and said, you can't produce magic in the life until you learn his arts of real magician. Abruptly, the boss began to rise and hover over the soil for just a moment. The mouths of the entrepreneur and the artist were now as open as a rose in springtime. The artist was a little unknown optical illusion. Someone thought, you right, maybe, yes, maybe no. Mr. Relay replied, only hesitated. Each of these magic charms will help you to remember one of the 11 maxims. Each of these magic charms will help you remember one of the 11 maxims I have been applying over these past decades for increasing my financial fortune and for experiencing an exquisite life. Like I said, my days provide a steady stream of beauty, grand awe, and relentless wonders. Heaven on earth, the billionaire retarded, and I want you both to live like this too. The cool thing is that anyone can create this kind of existence. Very people alive today know how to manifest one. Each associated letter will bring together some of the key themes I've shared with you on the sensational adventure. Sort of to summarize things, and as we approached the end, the Mughal added. The first charm was a small mirror. Here's what the letter attached to it said. It's about 55 minutes, and I think I must take my creatine now. सोने से पहले. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Just 11, okay. Bro, last में देखो ना इसने क्या किया. The billionaire then proceeded to kiss his students. I love you too, and I really will miss you. Maybe he's really going to die. I think. A fan club. Live like a hero. That's what the classic teaches. Be the main character. Otherwise, life. What is life for? This sounds interesting. Live like a hero. That's what the classics teaches. Be the main character. Otherwise, what is life for? Okay, he is telling it like right. Last chapter, but we अपने को और कितना almost 17 pages to पढ़ने हैं. We will do it fast. We will take a quick creatine break. So it's 11:58 p.m. हो गए अभी. बहुत लेट लेट तो कर ही रहे हैं अपन। देखो 5 AM क्लब की तरह 9:30 को सोना था, एज दी ऑथर सेड, बट अपन लेट लेट ही कर रहे हैं। मे बी दिस वुड बी लास्ट डे ऑफ स्लीपिंग लेट। दिस इज सच अ बिग कमिटमेंट, बट लास्ट डे तो नहीं हो सकता। We'll try to be our last day, right? So I want this brand. Where are you? Uh, Massachusetts. Dun, dun, dun. Sponsor me. Knack Pro, sponsor me. Sponsor me, Knack Pro. Knack Pro, Valcor, Muscle Blaze, Nutra Bay, GNC, Avatar, जिम शार्क वाले सब कोई ना कोई स्पॉन्सर कर दो यार, इट वुड मीन अ लॉट। मेरा एक फिटनेस अकाउंट भी है, if that makes like if it gets like 10K plus followers, I will like tell everybody। मैं खुद के इस पे भी डाल दूंगा, नॉर्मल रेगुलर इंस्टाग्राम पे। if that account reaches like 10 followers, the target for the year is like to get 10,000 followers before 2026। let's see अगर मेरे फिटनेस अकाउंट को 10,000 followers मिलते हैं before like 2026, it's the target, it's the goal I have set is at 1 hour 51 minute। let's see कहाँ तक जाता है। it would be so much fun। अभी के लिए तो I'm using this brand and I hope मेरे को बाद में even better brand sponsor कर दे। let's see। I also need a shaker, अच्छा सा shaker भी दे देना भाई। give me a great stack, I need sponsorship। अभी मेरे पास no money, I don't have money। देखो यूज भी कौन सा कैमरा कर रहा हूँ, है ना। चलो the billionaires maxim to create magic in the world, own the magic within yourself, look in the mirror, your relationships will with you predicts your look in the mirror, your relationship with you predicts your relationship within the world। remember that you have a primitive longing for silence and solitude, and that is an quietude that self-awareness rises। French mathematician Blaise Pascal wrote, all the humanity problems stem from man's inability to sit in one room alone, release your need for your complexity, and immerse yourself in the stillness only the early morning can provide, so you get to know yourself again. Because in a fright from solitude really is an escape from freedom. To become an everyday magician, so life is rich with passion, plenty and peace. Grow more comfortably and being still. So you start to hear the whispers of the great geniuses who slumber in relentlessness. You will remember all you truly are. You will reaccess that supreme self-abundant with creativity, potency, sensibility, and a love that has no conditions. In this sanctuary of silence, you will also find to be afforded something so rare in this age, time for yourself to be. And the more you do so, the more you will discover and how life really works. You will also begin to create magic in the world. Own the magic within yourself. To differentiate between your beliefs that are merely cultural constant and those that are actual truths, and between the trustworthy voice of your intuition and the persuasive pronouncement of your fears in solitude. You will also receive the disruptive insight that will transform your field. I know it sounds strange, but amid serenity, you will actually visit the alternate reality in which visionaries like Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, Grace Hopper, Thomas Edison, John D. Rockefeller, Marie Curie, Andrew Carnegie, Catherine Graham, Sam Walton, Rosalind Franklin, and Steve Jobs, among other luminaries, spent much time. Why do you think the legendary scientists, inventors, industrialists, and artists all made so much effort to be alone? I've shared with you that long stretches spent in noiseless contemplation is one of the secrets that the advanced mind that advanced that the advanced mind. Ultimately, you are the only person you will be with your entire life. Why not strengthen your relationship with your greatest self? Whoa, 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 whoa. You are the only person who is going to be with yourself for the entire life. And why don't you build the relationship with yourself the strongest? Yes, great line. Again, we will read it. Why not strengthen your relationship with your greatest self, fully known to your genius, and start a lifetime love affair with your most noble nature? Nice. It is खूबसूरत. Loved it. The second magic charm was in the form of a flower. The billionaire released its fragrance. Then he smiled and passed the letters associated with it to his students and for their review. It read, the billionaire's magazine too. Collect miraculous experiences over material things. The world has burdened and hardened you. As a child, your instinct showed you how to spot miraculous of a snowflake, find fortune in those spiders, then adore the splendors of falling leaves on a colorful autumn spring. The pursuit wasn't about acquiring things, it was about exploring life to switch the lens through which you see life, from one that views what's ordinary to one that perceives the extraordinary, is to multiply your ability to create miracles and to re-engage with the most lost purity you knew in your youth before a broken society trained you to value objects and cash over joys and delights. Laugh more often, dance more regularly, and play more frequently. Please, the future holds promises and mysterious good. Anything can happen overnight, said the mystic Florence Scovel. Be more alive to the wonders that inhabit your days. Gentler breezes, squirrels chasing each other in the park, and music that is so wonderful it makes you cry, and you will begin to live as royalty along with heightening your primal powers to produce even more magic in your mornings. Never sacrifice your well-being and quality for a greater annual income or larger net worth. The determinants of magnificent life have remained the same for centuries. A sense that you are growing and capitalizing on your human potential is what full work that draws out your finest productivity and is profitable for humanity. Vedic connections with positive people who escalate your jubilation and time during that which nurtures your spirit as you advance through your days with a grateful heart. इससे मेरे को याद आया भाई आई हैवंट स्टडीड कैलकुलस मैं 12वीं में भी ढंग से कैलकुलस नहीं पढ़ा इंजीनियरिंग में मेरे को कैलकुलस पढ़ना पड़ेगा तो आई वुड नीड टू स्टडी हार्ड यार परफेक्ट कैन आई शो यू द टाइम समहाउ maybe I can so देखो यहाँ पे अभी हो रहा है 12 बज के 8 मिनट इट्स 21:07 मैंने पिछले महीने 21:06 को बुक लाई थी और ऑलमोस्ट एक महीने में इस बुक को ख़त्म कर दूंगा अगर मैंने इस बुक कल ख़त्म कर दिया तो लाइक इट टुक मी 30 days टू फिनिश दिस बुक Yes, in Rome. Yes, in Rome, I lick my shoulder. It's one of the ritual I run to actively heighten my loudness by raising my appreciation of all the good blessings that have been given to me. The more vividly I value everything in my life, the more everything in my life finds in value. So become a collector of awesome experiences instead of consumer of materials and simplify our life and make a return to the essential enjoyment that are sitting right under your noses. As you do, you will overcome the forces that have suppressed your fire and tear down the greed and superficiality that so many fine souls among us are stuck in. And as you continue, you will come to know how gorgeous and terrific your life really is. And please remember that your past is servant that had made you all now you and please remember that your past is a servant that had made you all you are now, not a companion to spend much time with in your present or a friend to carry into your spotless future. It's impossible to enter the magic that each fresh morning brings if parts of you are holding on to old disappointments, resentments, and hurt. You know that well now. Bitterness of pain and ancient pain can't stand the sight of each other. So train yourself through steady and ceaseless practice to immerse yourself fully in this moment. Yes, it takes time and patience. Yes, savoring this very instant is an essential move for an dazzling life. This time all you really have and is an empire worth more than any amount of world. One day you'll see. The third magic charm was a symbol of a door. Every ending marks begins a new week. All the share is not comfortable. Hmm, I don't like this angle. Every ending marks of a new beginning. All the experience happenings for a helpful reason, and when one door closes, another will always open for you. Noted the villain. Trust always that life has your back, even if it's unfolding. Makes no sense. The letter attached read. The Billionaires Magazine 3. Failure inflates fearlessness. Love it, love it. Failure inflates fearlessness. अच्छा है ना the failure inflates fearlessness like nice I like it बस अगर इसका ऑप्शन ऐसा होता ना कि I would be able to like ऐसा मैं ऊपर नीचे कर पाऊँ it would have been much amazing much greater right it is impossible to live without feeling at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well as have not lived at all in which case you fail by default said by J.K. Rowling oh so beautifully said वापस ही कर पड़ेंगे It is impossible to live without feeling at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well as have not lived at all, in which case you fail by default, said J.K. Rowling. The mighty goallets of ambition that the massive behemoths of imagination within you must never be abducted by the tiny cowards of what would people think. And if I get rejected, and I'd probably look silly if I try this. You can allow yourself to become paralyzed by fear of rejection, or you can go out there and astonish the world. But but don't get to do both. Again, you can allow yourself to become paralyzed by the fear of rejection, or you can go out and astonish the world. But you can't. But you just don't get to do the both. Is very nice. Right? Star mark type. Life's reality is that you have a transcendent destiny that begs for your attention. In this era of crushing complexity, stop abusing your greatness, deforming your magnificence, and denying your radiance by labeling something that didn't turn out as you wanted, a failure. We all know that within every seeming setback lies a distinguished opportunity for even greater success, and start saying yes more often in your life. Courage is an exquisite weapon to defeat the armies of regret that fear away life meekly lived. A wooden brush about the size of a finger was the next magic charm that Mr. Really carefully lifted from the metal box. This will reinforce the notion that you are a powerful creator of your life and a mighty artist around your ambition. That productive, prosperous, fit, and optimistic people got their great fortune by luck is a lie. I invested a lot of time by making sure you understand this point that such folks made their empires of money, vitality, and influence on society because the stars aligned in the right order to breed their success is a pure myth. Here, look at this, please. Instructed the mentor kindly as he handed over the next letter. The Billionaire Magazine 4. Proper use of your primal proper use the proper Billionaire Magazine 4. Proper use of your primal power creates your personal utopia. Proper use of your primal power creates your personal utopia. Many human beings spend their finest hours in a facade of satisfaction. By this I mean they say they are happy, but in reality they are miserable. They rationalize the fact they have betrayed their dreams, neglected their human treasures, and minimized the impact they could have on the planet by telling themselves to be satisfied what with what they have instead of evolving into more. Yes, be vividly thankful for all you have, yet also consider that such individuals have ended themselves through absolute neglect and an outright abandonment of their inherent power. But as a result, all sense of personal freedom and any hope of sovereignty over their lavish talents have been savaged. To enter the magic of your life, you must become aware of the four creative tools that turn each of your desires into visible results. Visible results. These four sources that will allow you to materialize miracles in the world are your thoughts, your feelings, your words, and your deeds. Exercise your mind to think only thoughts that serve your ascent to mastery and happiness. Sit regularly in feelings of gratitude, positive expectancy, and love for all that you have in your life. Speak only the words of upliftment, abundance, and encouragement, as you saw me doing when I was upside down, and do only those acts that are in forceful alignment with the resident hero that sits at your most wise foundation. Study someone playing small with their potential, and you will understand clearly why their conditions are as difficult as they are. They focus their thinking on the lack instead of plenty. They disrespect the potency of the word by speaking continuously of problems, by labeling their circumstances terrible, and by classifying the reward, such as vast success, financial wealth, contentment, and energetic services to others, as impossible. Failing to understand that it is their own speech that disconnects them from their capacity to craft magic. Words truly are creative multipliers, and in terms of the daily deeds of such stuck performers, they don't work hard at all, doing all the little doing as little as possible while hoping for a beautiful life, believing no one sees this crime against their humanity. Yes, the most high magician within them, yet the most high magician within them, their conscience and their subconscious mind watches it all and witnesses this theft from their best. भाई कितनी देर लगेगी सोना अपने को. The next object was a nether. What is a nether? And I like mullet that some cultures use God of evil people. You might have seen one on travel one of your travels. Look, cats, I don't believe anyone is truly evil, the witness said to his students. Parents said to his students, well, maybe a few, but mostly the more I live, the more I know that every one of us has experienced various degrees of trauma in their lives. And as I shared earlier, only people in pain do painful things to others. Those who are suffering create suffering, and an individual whose behavior is confusing is generally very confused themselves. They are really hurting, and something has happened to them that has caused them to feel certain, and so the goodness the goodness at their core has contracted and closed. To call them horrible people is a superficial judgment. It's a lot deeper than that quick perception. And having said that, for now, let's just say that for your own maximum productivity, top of boundless joyfulness and peace of mind, it's really important to avoid bad people, those who are filled with wounds from the past. They don't have the self-awareness not to project onto you. I was once on a business trip in Barbados where a taxi driver gave this piece of wisdom which was served which had served me very well. Avoid bad people. I had this letter stuck to it. I had this letter stuck to it. They say avoid bad people. Fourth maxim, I didn't really understand it much. The billionaires maxim 5. Avoid bad people. Never underestimate the power of pure association by the phenomenon known as emotional contagion, as well as through the activation of the mirror neurons in our brain. Model the behavior of the people we spend our days with. Fill your life with exceptionally excellent, enterprising, healthy, positive, ethical, and sincerely loving people. And over time, you will exemplify these lofty traits. Allow dream stealers, energy thieves, and enthusiasm bandits into the tide bubble of total focus. TBTF, tide bubble of total focus. And please know you are sure to become like them. The real key is to avoid trouble creators, people who have grown up in an environment with drama and non-stop problems, with consciousness, with consciously recreate drama and non-stop problems, because as amazing as it seems, such condition feels familiar and safe, like home to them. Stay away from the world, all the drama queens and negativity kings. If you don't, sooner or later they will dissolve your bigness and destroy your lives. It's just what they do. Relate peacefully as much as possible with everyone, even one enemy is an enemy to many. Pass through life gracefully, taking the high taking the high road when conflict shows up. Should someone do you wrong, let karma do the dirty work, and let a world class be your revenge. Clipped to the sixth in the metal safe box was a paper money of large denomination. It had been folded into a triangle for some cryptic reason unknown to the entrepreneur and the artist. The letter was longer than other. It said, money is the fruit of generosity, not scarcity. Be not be not misled by the dominant be not misled by the dominant be not misled by the dominant philosophy of the world. Poverty is the consequence of inner condition, not an outer situation. Believe otherwise is to hand over your capacity to produce magic of the prosperity that you want to the very things you are complaining of. Money is a currency that must flow like electricity. Yes, cash is a current. It needs to circulate. Hoarding it stops the flow of it into your business and private life. All genuine magicians know this. So give more to receive more. Give more to receive more. Leave lavish tips for servers in restaurants, housekeepers in hotels, and drivers in taxi cabs. Donate to charities, do wonderful things for your family and your friends without a single thought of any return. The tsunami abundance will be sent to you. You may wonder why so many of us live in such scarcity. The states of being this state of being is due to our money scars. The programs hidden these are the programs hidden deep within our subconscious that were placed there unknowingly by the messaging from our parents and teaching of the other peaceful childhood influences. Their common statements based on the falsehood that were taught to them sound like be happy with what you have. Taught were taught to them sound like be happy with what you have, or rich people are dishonest. Okay, okay. After a certain time in OBS Studio, this decibel level comes down. Okay, so for now I'm speaking at the highest volume of negative 20 decibels. Okay, you may wonder why so many people live in such scarcity. The state of being is due to our money scars. These are the programs hidden deep within our subconscious that were placed there unknowingly by the messaging from our parents and the teaching of other powerful childhood influences. Their common statement based on the falsehood that were taught to them sound like be happy with what you have, or rich people are dishonest, or money doesn't grow on trees. These words planted in the dark seeds lack within us at a tender impressionable age. Impressionable age. Impressionable age. Impressionable age. Four practices have helped me. Impressionable age. Four practices have helped me to make my financial fortune, and so I give them to you. Positive expectancy. Four practices that have helped me to make my financial fortune. So so I give them to you. Positive expectancy, active faith, and ever increasing gratitude and extreme value delivery. By positive expectancy, I simply mean to tell you that I always maintain a mindset where I expect money will come to me regularly and from highly unexpected sources. Active faith is when you become in a way that shows life you trust it in its abundance and benevolence. The universe adores gestures of affluence like paying for a dinner you had with your friends at an expensive restaurant you cannot totally afford to do so, or buying the books or buying the tools you need to raise your craft when there's a little cash in your wallet. I am in no way suggesting that you throw yourself into a prison of debt, not at all. Overleisure is such a destructive force in our civilization today. Just show, just show nature you, just show nature you know prosperity is coming, and perform acts that make you feel like you have plenty. Ever increasing gratitude. Well, we have discussed that one a lot of our journey together. Continue opening your heart to everything and everyone in your life. Bless your money when pay a bill. Bless the cashier at the grocery store and the farmers who harvested your food. Bless the motorist who lets you in a line in a traffic and the musicians who write songs that become the soundtrack of your life. Bless your legs for always carrying you for all these years. Bless your eyes for allowing you to witness beauty and your heart for allowing you to feel alive and extreme value delivery just means giving others treatments, customers, friendly family members, strangers exponentially more benefits than they ever could expect from you because we reap what we sow. Okay. The concept here on the sixth billionaires maxim is that they are saying just to give more and not to expect anything. जैसे कि भगवत गीता वगैरह में भी लिखा है देयर समथिंग श्लोक मेरे को इतना अच्छे से याद नहीं but कल खाओ और चिंता ना करो क्या है लेट मी गूगल इट गिव मोर एंड एक्सपेक्ट नथिंग, है ना? एक्सपेक्ट नथिंग, भगवत गीता कोट। क्या कोट है वो? हिंदी। तुम्हारा अधिकार केवल कर्म करने में है, उसका फल तुम्हें उसके फल में कभी नहीं। तुम्हारा अधिकार केवल कर्म करने में है, उसके फल में कभी नहीं। जिस तरह आग सोने को परखती है, उसी तरह मुसीबत एक बहादुर इंसान को। आप जीवन में कभी भी अपना रास्ता नहीं भटक सकते यदि आपका नक्शा स्वयं श्रीमद् भगवत गीता है। ओके, सो आई गॉट इट। तुम्हारा अधिकार केवल कर्म करने में है। नहीं, इट वॉज अबाउट कर्म। आम खाओ गुटली मत गिनो, इट वॉज समथिंग लाइक दैट वे। एक्सपेक्टेशन, गिव मोर, एक्सपेक्ट नथिंग, कोट हिंदी। व्हाट डज इट हैव टू से? किसी एक जगह, आप जो देते हैं उसे पाने की उम्मीद कभी न करें। हर किसी के पास आप जैसा दिल नहीं होता। Most people, like the rich people I know, the very rich people or the millionaires I know, the thing they say are to be selfish. But in the context, तो खुद के लिए, but in खुद yourself, I mean they are trying to say family. And बाबा साहेब का कोट है, शिका संघर्ष करा, शिका आणि सोसायटीला वाढवा. शिका संघर्ष करा, शिका संघटित व्हा, संघर्ष करा. शिका संघटित व्हा आणि संघर्ष करा. राईट. शिका संघटित व्हा आणि सर्च करा. शिका, learn. Okay, we invested like 2-3 minutes here. Yo, skinny arm. Huh. My arm looks so skinny, right? But it even does look skinnier. It's about 1 or 2 minutes and like almost 8 pages to go. Developing and there are rotating your prosperity consciousness. You'll realize quantum gains in your income and personal network. So please get this piece right. Much of the sadness in our culture is because too many of us don't have enough money. This need not to be so. What's like wanted artists as if would offer robust grape of a wine and swallowed it whole. The billionaire pulled a miniature running shoe from the casing. Exercising is definitely a magical charm. Read the letter I wrote for you both that goes with it. The letter said, Billionaires Magazine #7. The optimal health maximizes your power to reduce magic. Exercising first thing in the morning gets the primary win of taking care of your health out of the way. This is all important activity is now done, leaving your cognition every day for physiological and spirit primed to create wonders with new day. When you begin to work out each morning consistently, you will be surprised by how much poorly you feel when you miss a day. You realize that this is how you felt most of the time before you embraced this habit. You just weren't aware of it because feeling low was your usual state of being. Peak healthy really Peak health really is true wealth. Those who lose their good health spend the rest of their life trying to recover it. Uncommon vitality is also marvelous method to grow your prosperity. When you get into the finest fitness of your life, calibrate your nutrition to a mastery level, dial in your sleep routine. I please, in the God's grace, I need to master my sleep routine. Please, my student, it's about 12:34 a.m. Please, Samyak, do it. Please dial in your sleep routine and minimize aging. You'll notice vast increases in your ability to build intimacy with your soul oneself. So you bring on more of your genius, glory, and compassion into our world. This is in turn will bring you great financial fortune. Much of importantly, you will be placed in a position of being able to make a bigger contribution and nothing as a glamorous as helpfulness. Every magician knows this truth well. The eighth symbol was of a tiny mountain climber. Okay, the eighth symbol was of a tiny mountain climber. NSI never stop improving. Wow, wow, wow. It is thing like tattooing my NSI never stop improving. The quality of your morning along with the excellence of your life. The billionaire explained. He then let out his loud yodel. They almost I think this is what they call yodel. The vineyard workers looked over and laughed uproariously. Mr. Relay waved and jiggled with them. He then carried on with his discourse. The whole game of the A player is to always be rising. When you summit a high peak, you will see the next range of peaks waiting to be scaled. Key metaphor for you two cats. He blew some dirt off his letter. He corresponded with the magic charm, and it helped for his students to see how he is how it read. The billionaires eat. The Billionaires Magazine hashtag it. Continue raising your life standards towards absolute world class. Hedonic adaptation describes the psychological circumstances where human beings adapt to environmental and life change. You receive the pay raise you have wanted for years and you have overjoyed for a day. Then this new income level becomes your new normal. The joy you felt fades, or you move into a noisy apartment close to trains. Yet over time, you stop hearing the trains, or maybe the dream car you just purchased tigers with the excitement until after a few weeks it becomes just another part of your scenery. These are the examples of the hedonic adaptation in operation, and the phenomena unfolds each of us inside all our lives. One antidote to this human way of existence is to constantly increase your personal standards and raise the quality of your life. Make each quarter better than the last and each year better than the previous one. This is how titans and legends rule. Related to this is a very important related to this is a very important philosophy that has served me well. Go through life, go through life a world class. Go through life at a world class. Life is just too short not to treat yourself amazingly as possible. As you take better care of your relationship with others, with your work, with money, and with the world will be lifted correspondingly. Because of relationship with everyone, everything outside of yourself cannot be cannot help to be a demonstration of your relationship with all that is within you. This is just the way it is. Invest in the finest books you can buy. Invest in the finest books you can buy. Thank you, my dad, for buying me this 5 a.m. club book. And you will be rewarded in the multiples. Eat fantastic food at your highest caliber, even if all you can currently afford is an excellent starter of salad at a luxurious local restaurant. Why the heck do I have to eat and luxurious starter salad, huh? Go have a coffee at the greatest hotel in your city. If where you live has a professional sports team that you love, sit courtside for one game rather than hanging out in the cheap seats for a few seasons. Drive the best car you possibly can. Listen to the joyful music daily. Visit the galleries like I like I have taught you. So the creativity and consciousness of the painters will rub off your soul. And remember, be around flowers often. They raise your frequency as well as your ability to see their alternate universe of all visionaries tap into. Or why do you think so many of the great saints, seers, healers, and the sheikhs keep vows beside them? You'll be pleasant and stunned by what this does for your powers to generate all these jars. Okay, drive the best possible car you can. Listen to the joyful music. Visit the art gallery, like I taught you. So the creativity and consciousness of the painter will rub off on you. And remember, be around flowers often. They raise your frequency as well as your ability to see the alternate universe all visionaries tap onto. Why do you think so many of the great saints, seers, healers, and sages kept flowers beside them? You will be pleasant stunned at what this does to your power to generate all that you desire. Magic charm number 9 was the heart, and that's what the associated letter said. The billionaire maxim 9. Deep love yields unconquerable joy. Any chance you get, show people love. A quote often attributed to William Penn has guided most of my life and served me wonderfully. It goes, I expect to pass through life but once. If therefore there can be any kindness I can show, or any good thing that I can do to my fellow being, let me do it now, and not to defer or not to neglect it, as I shall not pass this away again. Tell people how proud of you are of them and how much you love them while you and they are still alive. I once met a man who told he felt abounding happiness at the very sight of a live person. Why, I asked him? Because I have seen so many dead people in my life that meeting someone alive is a special gift, he said. Because I have seen so many dead people in my life that meeting someone alive is a special gift, he said. Not one of us knows when we'll face our end, so why hold back that which is the most valuable? Your human capacity to love deeply. This is making me wiser. Part of your job is usually Part of your job as a fully alive human is to make people feel better about themselves and to make them smile. It may shock you how little it takes to make someone happy. Write a old school love letter to everyone you care about. Thank you notes to the ones who have helped you, and messages of consideration for everyone you think needs some appreciation. Express how you really feel without being limited to the devilish fear of rejection, and always be more interested in other people than being concerned with coming off as an interesting person. Every human being you meet has a lesson to teach. What? खुद से ही नीचे गई अपनी hydraulic teach, and some dream in their heart that longs for your support. I actually need this. इधर से कैमरा भाई, यहाँ से कैमरा आ रहा है तो पूरे शेडो शेडो हो रहे हैं because of our face. Our best selves will be shackled by the caring words we love, unspoken warm feelings we fail to display, to the good deeds we leave undone. Here, take this. Here, take this, please. The tycoon gently requested the guest, as his guest, a figure of angel. What's on this page is especially important. I suggest you to read it with a very open spirit. It's about 1 hour 42 minutes. भाई कितना लेट कर रहे हैं भाई अपन कितना लेट we are going so much out of time. The letter expressed is that the following. The billionaire's maxim 10. Heaven on earth is a state, not a place. Heaven on earth is a state, not a place. Take daily voyages into awe and regular adventures into wonder. Wonder is such a potent source of happiness and a key still in the promotion of your ever coming genius. All the great women and the men of the world learned how to relax into the magic of a day enchantingly spent. Through my experiments with life, I need to understand that what the immortal philosophers, mystic and saviors called heaven on earth isn't a place to visit but a state you can in. Trust me, as you cultivate your mindset, purify your heart, optimize your health set, and elevate your soul set, the way you pursue and experience life will revolutionize your experience. And if you don't do this profoundly important, टाइमर को हिलाने का मन कर रहा है बट वो पूरा वो जो अगर मैं स्क्रिबल करूंगा यूट्यूब से यहाँ पे या तो थोड़ा हिल जाएगा, इसलिए मेरे को टाइमर नहीं हिलाना. Next time I will try to keep it at a more prominent place. Work, you will never know. I don't know what is the meaning of prominent. Let's search it. I just spoke it. Prominent. Famous. Important. Yes. She was a prominent member. Important जगह पे रखेंगे. We'll try to keep it at a better place. That's what I meant. Work you'll never know, and my words will be. Work will seem like a rambling of an old eccentric, insane person in the world gone crazy. Crazy had always been considered insane. So as you dedicate more time to your personal mastery, the amount of self-love you will feel will expand. All level success, all private joys go to depend on loving oneself. What keeps you in bondage to your doubts, insecurities, and fears is low inner worth because of what people told you about yourself in your early childhood, and your subconscious mind discounts your braveness, smooths your highness, and changes your greatness as you let go of the false beliefs that you were taught and truth, and as you release the emotional wounds that closed you to love. And I'm speaking of something as much more romancier. You will develop the ability to sense this all new reality I've been hinting at. It has become there, but because of this painted filter through which you were seeing the world, you were blocked from it, from knowing it. Yet nothing is wrong. There has been no wish. All is unfolding as it should. At your end, you will realize that a very little of what happened to you was an incident. Everything was for your growth, and all was for your good. The entrepreneur, the artists were mildly taken back when they were shown the 11th and the magic item, magic charm. If you really want to play, if you really want to, okay, if you really want to play in the magic of the life, reflect often on this one. Instructed the billionaire as he handed them a miniature coffin. This letter, unlike the previous one, was written in red ink. It read, Billions Magazine 1. Tomorrow is a bonus. Tomorrow is a bonus, not a right. Tomorrow is a bonus, not a right. What does this mean? Postpone not your heroism and never delay your peacefulness. Your life can fall apart within an hour. I am an optimist and a genuine merchant of hope. And yet I am also a realist. Accidents, illness, loss and that happen and happen every day. And it's human nature to think these things will never occur. All wise philosophers teach us of the transcendence of our existence, armed with the insight, connect with your mortality, understand that your days are numbered, and that and with the passage of each glorious morning, you grow closer to you grow closer you to your end. Don't don't put don't don't put off expressing don't put off expressing don't off expressing your gifts as talents and make them certain you enjoy this ride. Have a good time, have a good time, have a good time, and as you rise towards your magnificent, it's so sad how most people postpone having a beautiful, fun, and a magical life until they are too old to fully savor it. Life absolutely is a sublime journey. Yes, we all experience trials and heartbreaks, but it's really mostly good. But it's all mostly good. Every hero story needs to have a villain as well as some huge tragedy along the way that triumphs and ultimate victory for it to be tale worthy watching. It would be about 1 hour 51 minutes, I think so. And so keep the shortness of your life at the forefront of your focus. Don't put off your happiness unless you have more time your of or you get the promotion of you have more money in the bank. These are excuses born of feeling that you are undeserving. Sense them and extract them from your orbit so that you can keep ascending into the loftiest realms. Tomorrow is a promise, not a fact. Enjoy every morning and appreciate each day you have on earth. Take bold risks, yet hedge them with a common sense, balancing drive and balancing live balance living like there is no tomorrow. Behave like like you will live forever, so that when the end does come, you will know you have lived life as majestic as a testimony, the capacity for legendary that every human being carries inside them. The billionaire then proceeded to kiss the students. I love you too. I'll really miss you. Then he disappeared from the vineyard, living on his mountain. It took us about 1 hour 50 minutes to read this 30, 33 pages. Wow. Now we need to get a proper light. I don't think we'll get it soon, but there's a need for it. Chapter 16 completed. Okay, so the next chapter is the Fire Club becomes the heroes of their lives. Okay, and we have to just read this chapter number 17 and chapter number and we have to just read the epilogue. We are almost done with everything, right? And now let me just show you the time. अभी टाइम कितना ही चल रहा है. Let me just show you. और थोड़ा बड़ा कर लेंगे. See the time, हाँ. See the time. Let's make it और बड़ा. Maybe it's more clear. It's recording हो गई 1 hour 52 minutes. CPU का 2.16% जा रहा है और it's almost running at 30 FPS. Maybe it's running at 1080p and the time is 12:51 almost 1 a.m. We have read almost 2 hours बोल सकते हैं and 2 hours के अंदर अपने 7 मिनट we invested about drinking this creatine. If there is a creatine brand like Muscle Blaze, Macro, न्यूट्रावे, वेलकोर, जीएनसी, अवतार टाइप अगर कोई मुझे स्पॉन्सर करना चाहे तो दे कैन स्पॉन्सर मी. आई वुड बी more than happy, grateful that you have sponsored me and help you get more sales. Maybe I will help you to help you by getting a genuine audience. And next book, kal kal hi we will finish this book. We will read the last chapter and the epilogue and we will be freed from this book. We will मतलब मैं क्या करूँगा इसमें से जो चैप्टर्स हैं जो मुझे लगता है कि मुझे वापस पढ़ने चाहिए बिकॉज दे कैरी सच एन इमेंस अमाउंट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन की एक ही बार में उसको कंप्रहेंड करना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है. तो यस आई नो आई विल रीड दिस बुक मोर देन वंस. कुछ चैप्टर्स में इसके 2-3 बार पढ़ूंगा. तो ये बुक मैं कल ही ख़त्म कर दूंगा एंड द नेक्स्ट बुक वी विल स्टार्ट इज दिस हाउ टू टॉक टू एनीवन बाय पैट्रिक किंग. इस इन बाय दिस ऑथर और एक बुक है वो मेरे को पढ़नी है, मतलब उसका नाम पता नहीं. मैं सबसे ज़्यादा इसको देख के शॉक हुआ था. दिस मेड मी बाय द बुक 27 ways to charm, banter, attract and captivate you. तो देख दिस इज माय ओके यहाँ पे मेरा नंबर था. थैंक गॉड आई डिडंट शो इट बट लेट मी शो यू माय फादर्स हैंडराइटिंग. दिस इज माय फादर्स हैंडराइटिंग. He wrote some में कुछ मोस्टली माई फादर्स डू राइट. एंड मैंने ये कब लाई थी, दोनों बुक मैंने 21/6/2025 को लाई. ये भी बुक मैंने तभी लाई थी. मे बी इट हैज़ इट एंड इट ऑल्सो हैज़ माई नंबर. डज इट हैव? यस इट हैज़ माई नंबर. See this. No, I don't need to show you it, right? You trust me guys, right? Guys मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूँ, कौन ही देखने वाला है. तो इसके अंदर तो मिररिंग का कॉन्सेप्ट मैंने पढ़ा. हाउ टू नेवर बी हाउ टू नेवर हैव अ बैड इंटरेक्शन. इसके अंदर ये कह रहा है कि लाइक यू हैव टू मैच द एनर्जी स्लैश वाइब ऑफ द अदर पर्सन जो आप कर रहे हैं. मैंने इसका वन तो पढ़ लिया है, मतलब ये जस्ट टाइटल है। एंड लाइक मिररिंग वन, यूटिलाइज द रूल ऑफ थ्री, टू द आर, आर मतलब एंकर, एंकर, एंकर रियलाइज, एंकर रेनफोर्स, एंड ई से क्या था, लैप्स। व्हाट वाज इट भाई, इतनी जल्दी कैसे बोल सकता हूँ मैं? एंकर रियलाइज रेनफोर्स रिट्रैक्ट रिलीज, रेनफोर्स भी नहीं था, व्हाट वाज दैट भाई? और एंकर रिवील, एंड व्हाट वाज दैट? एंकर रिवील एंड एनकरेज, ओके। मुझे वापस पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा ये। मतलब ये ऐसा करके, द सर्च ऑफ सिमिलैरिटी, दिस इज द 27th way of the 27 ways of getting charmer better. Yes, this will the book. We will try to finish this book by this month, before July, and let's see how the journey goes of me reading the books. और ये book अपन purely अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे, इसके लिए मैं अच्छे से thumbnails भी बनाऊंगा. We will try to read 2 chapters a day. It has around 6 chapters, so we'll read it in 3 days. So let's see. We will complete this book by tomorrow itself. मैं ऐसा क्यों कह रहा हूँ? As I have a lot of audience, maybe I will in the future. I will know. I definitely must, because the target of this year is I will try to have like 10 key followers on my fitness account, and that's the goal. And I need to upload like generic great quality of content there to actually get the brands to sponsor me. And thanks for watching. If you are watching बाद में, currently it will have like 1 or 2 random views who are just about to see कि भाई क्या 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 क्या, and संभल भी करना the last भाई 1 hour 55 minutes 49 seconds पे, मतलब अभी तो क्या 1 hour 56 minutes पे you are doing this stuff, बस ये scroll करेंगे, nobody will even watch it till the end, I know this. But just for myself कि मैं बाद में कितना improve करूँगा, how much less do I stutter, how much I stutter, and how I enunciate my words. Let's see how much I make progress in my 20s. So thanks for watching. सम्यक ही दिखेगा इसको. And if you are not सम्यक, and thanks a lot for watching. If you watched it, it really means a lot. And leave a comment that you watched here it till then, or you watched the ending part. Thank you. I wanted to say a thing that क्या बोलते हैं? Be humble, be hungry, and remember guys, be humble and be hungry. सम्यक signing off. Be humble, be hungry.